Hey, it's Carrie here at Barefoot Consultants, and I thought I would let you have a look at this beautiful mural that a friend of mine painted here in Mexico for this week's video. And I also wanted to talk to you about the number one thing that I get asked about in support, and that is certification. Carrie, what certification do I take? What should I do? Tell me. And if you ever write me an email like that, what you're going to find out is I am going to let you decide. I'll give you all of the information that I know, but ultimately the decision is yours. And the reason that the decision is yours is because you are unique. You have had a unique career path. You have a unique vision for what you want to do as an English teacher. Some of you will already be teachers. You come from an academic background, which means that you might not need to be certified. So there is no one standard answer to what certification should I take. But I want to walk you through this in general terms so that you can maybe glean from this little tutorial here what might be the right path for you. So if you want to teach online or if you want to teach on the ground, things can be different. Now, you will often hear me say that the CELTA, C-E-L-T-A, that is an acronym, the CELTA training is by far the most widely recognized and highly regarded certification out there when it comes to a certification course that is short-term. So certainly you could go back to university, you could study for years, you could put an entire year into this, but I'm talking about short-term trainings here. So if you do an intensive, that would be 1 month to 6 weeks. If you do an online course, that might be 6 months, but it's only 120 hours of training or maybe 260 hours or something like that. You're not going to be spending a year or more of your life going back rigorously to school, taking lots of classes here. So this is the type of training that I'm talking about. And when it comes to these types of training, what I know is no matter if you want to teach online or on the ground, the CELTA training is the most widely known and highly regarded training out there. And there's a reason for that. It is a standardized curriculum, meaning that while there are many different organizations around the world that teach this, it is a curriculum that was established by Cambridge. Cambridge is one of the leaders in English language education around the world. And no matter who is teaching this or how you're learning it, you are going to learn from the same syllabus as everybody else worldwide. Now, yes, the trainers themselves are going to differ in quality, perhaps. Their approach to teaching you is going to be different, but at the end of the day, you come out having learned the same standardized curriculum as everybody else. So me, as a hiring manager, if I'm going to hire you and I see the CELTA, I know exactly what you learned to get that certification. So that makes it really easy for me to understand the quality of the training that you received. Now, a TESOL or a TEFL, on the other hand, T-E-S-O-L, Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, or T-E-F-L, Teaching English as a Foreign Language, those aren't as standardized. They can vary. They tend to, the basic certification training tends to be 120 hours. There are many that go beyond that, but what you learn in those 120 hours is variable. So the curriculum, the syllabus is being determined by the person or the organization giving the training. So if I am going to hire you, then I see a CELTA I see a TEFL or a TESOL, then I have to have you let me know what you learned there. It's not an automatic, oh, hey, I know what this person was taught in this course. there's variations of that. So I would want to know more from you. So that's why I always say the CELTA is best, because there's no question what you learn there. In some of these others, there is some question. So that's why the CELTA trumps all others. It's also very rigorous and it prepares you very well. Now that being said, I know that the CELTA isn't for everybody. Absolutely, I understand that. So you might be looking at taking a TEFL or a TESOL or some other variation of the training, and that's perfectly okay. The first thing, though, that you need to know and that you want to make sure is a part of your training is that it is accredited. So there is a accrediting body, a third party that has evaluated the curriculum, has evaluated the trainers, has evaluated the standards by which they do the training. That is what gives weight or value to the training itself. So if you decide to go with something that is not a CELTA, which is backed by Cambridge, they are the ones who have accredited that. By the way, they accredit plenty of others as well. Then you do need to keep in mind that accreditation is incredibly important. And this is a short tutorial, so what you need to know is that I have done trainings on this inside the course and also in the membership area, and you can learn more about that there. So accreditation is important. Second most important thing when it comes to certification is, are you going to get practical teaching experience? Is part of the training that you actually stand up in front of a physical classroom and teach English language learners, or you teach them in the online medium? Now, a lot of the training courses online that are kind of do-it-yourself, I would say, you might have a trainer or you might have somebody evaluating your assignments and giving you feedback, but you're just watching pre-recorded videos and you're taking in the information, you're implementing what you know, and you're getting feedback from somebody, but they're not teaching you in a live classroom setting. So that's what I mean by do-it-yourself. When it comes to those, oftentimes they do not have this practical component. They do not have structured into the training that you will be teaching live students. So if you decide to go with one of those because that's the best fit for you, then you want to shore that up somehow. So the way that I recommend you do that is that you volunteer. You find somewhere within your local radius that you can volunteer your time or even maybe get paid. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be giving it away. It's just that there are all kinds of literacy programs, programs affiliated with different social programs, libraries, immigrant programs, churches, where they teach English as a foreign language to people who are new to the community who do not speak English. And those are great opportunities for you to get that practical experience. So those are two things that you want to be very, very certain of. If it doesn't have the practical component, how can you get that practical experience so that you can include that on a resume or in a teacher bio or something like that to let people know that you have experience teaching real students. So those are the most important elements of making this decision. And again, ultimately, this will be your decision. If you want to teach online and you're going to set yourself up as a tutor on one of the tutor sites, you need to go and find out, do they require some kind of certification to be accepted onto the platform? If they don't, then you need to consider, is this something I want reflected in my bio, that I have some kind of training so my future students feel confident in my abilities? Now, not everybody needs to do it. A lot of times I tell people, you know what? If it's not required on the platform, jump right in, create a video, create a profile, start teaching. If it's going really well, you probably don't need to be certified. If you feel like you would like more preparation or that you are somewhere feel not confident in your teaching abilities, or you would like to serve a different market or serve your students in a different way, then go back and get the training. So unless the platform or the position or university or organization requires you to have this training, it's not an absolute that you should get it right away. Part of what this is doing is giving you credentials that you can prove that you have some training, which may be a requirement of the position or the platform. And part of what this is doing is preparing you as a teacher. And you may or may not feel like that's necessary for you, and you might not know. So the best way to do it would be to jump in and find out. So that is a very quick snapshot look at what you need to consider when it comes to certification. Again, I've done trainings on this. You will find them in the course and in the playback area, and you can dive more deeply into this conversation. This is one of the most important decisions you will make on your journey to becoming an English teacher. So give it the time and energy it deserves making this decision. You will not regret having weighed all of your options and making the best decision for you. So hopefully this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in next month's video.